Your Excellency, tell me about your views on the future of technology policy.
Thank you, Eddie. In this new norm, regulators and policymakers must appreciate that we have so much dynamism in the world. We're living in the Great Reset, where we have to innovate and regulate. And those are the three core principles that every regulator must adopt. That regulation has to be dynamic, with a regulatory reset, and with an innovative approach. And if I could share with you two examples. I remember during Q1, one of the toughest decisions and emergency meetings that we had as a cabinet was discussing the lockdown. It was a tough decision. And kudos and thank you to the healthcare professionals and heroes. Within that meeting, everybody was looking at me, asking me, is our entrepreneurs ready to provide food supplies, medical supplies, and emergency services to support the 33 residents and citizens of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia? And the answer was, within 48 hours, yes. And the only way we were able to do it is that we had to pivot from a regulatory perspective to shift from food to medical supplies to pharmacies, and that was the dynamism we had to do. On a regulatory reset, one of the earlier requirements we had was the fact that you had to provide payment channels, that is both physical and digital. And we had to refine that requirement with a reset button by saying to them, only go with digital. This shifted and accelerated the push to a cashless society in which fintech has boomed within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia with a 40% penetration and the first billion-dollar valuation unicorn. On an innovative approach, and here I have to commend my good colleague Amin, the CEO of Aramco, we appreciated that we needed to push the cloud agenda. So when we heard to the investors, Aramco and Google, they asked us to make the push to the cloud, and we introduced the cloud-first policy. So this agility and execution and speed yielded us today one of the largest tech and digital MENA investments with more than $1 billion between Google and Aramco. So these are concrete examples, Eddie, about how regulators and policymakers in the new norm have to meet with dynamism, with a regulatory reset and the Great Reset, and with innovation.
Your Excellency, in a world shaped by risk as well as opportunities, what regions and economies do you think offer the greatest opportunities for investors and innovators in 2021 and even beyond?
Eddie, with so much VUCA in the world, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, the future belongs to those that are digitally resilient. And this generation and next generations, Eddie, will not forgive us if we don't double down and invest and innovate in digital. Because digital in 2020 have showed us not only to be the largest economic multiplier and social equalizer, but it kept our social fabric intact. It kept our economies interconnected, and definitely it was the environmental preserver. So socially, it was the only way for our loved ones to receive care outside of the ICU room. And if we look globally, we moved from 200 million virtual consultations to 1 billion consultations, and in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we've seen the same rate. As a matter of fact, we've partnered with one of our key partners today with us, Babylon Health, on implementing data and AI in healthcare to reduce the cost to serve in healthcare to $1 when we deliver a full virtual consultation by machine. If I move on economically, it definitely interconnected us to the rest of the world. If you look at the digital trade today, it's shifting from west to west to east to west. And Saudi is at the center of this. Not only that, during 2020, some of the G20 nations dropped from the top 10 list, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia became number 7 globally in terms of internet speed and quality, but we became the fastest in terms of 5G quality and coverage. In terms of capacity and talent, we became number 9 globally, and environmentally, on the 10th of January, His Royal Highness announced the line at NEOM. the next urban model for the next 150 years, because throughout the past 150 years, throughout the 4 industrial revolutions, we've managed to put cars and roads first and not people. So today we're delivering a model with 0 emissions, 100% renewable. And Amin spoke about some of the innovations that we've seen in the oil and gas industry, how we're leveraging data to reduce the uplift cost and to deliver one of the lowest carbon intensities in the world. And this is why today we're pivoting not only to become the thermal energy leader in the world, but the renewable and sustainable energy leader in the world, where we announced a $5 billion major investments with Air Products in green hydrogen. And it's no wonder that the EU Center for Digital Competitiveness, when they evaluated the G20 nations, ranked the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as the #1 digital riser.
Thank you.